Hey guys, Guts here. Now I've had that alias for the past 17 years since I was gifted the original Xbox back in 2002. It was around that time that I had just finished the anime Berserk and was hooked into the world of Berserk and the warrior named Guts. After 17 years, I think it's time I talk about Berserk. So here's my first Berserk video. 3 things left out from the manga Golden Age arc that should have been in, or should be, in the anime. Keep in mind, Japanese comics are read right to left. And beware, this video does contain manga spoilers. Number 1. Band of the Hawk versus the Bakiraka. The Bakiraka were the most fearsome assassins kept by the King of Midland. Even as they appeared before them, many battle-hardened knights grew nervous and anxious around them. It is the attempted escape and rescue of Griffith from the dungeon. After about a year, Griffith was captured. The king dispatches these assassins to kill Griffith, keeping him from escaping, as well as bringing back his daughter, Princess Charlotte. It is here, during the Berserk onslaught of Midland soldiers, Guts finally is exhausted and has to catch his breath. The rest of the Band of the Hawk elite are keeping up. Specifically, Judo realizes something is off and how resistance seems to have halted. The Princess Charlotte has led the Band of the Hawk this far in order to save Griffith. It is here she rolls up her sleeves, in a manner of speaking, or in this case, tearing off her dress to help her keep up with the warriors. That is when the group continues to a passage, the fight against the Bakiraka. Guts catches wind of the ambush, and soon the Bakiraka, picking their targets carefully, beginning to engage from hidden spots in the passageway. The Hawks were able to defend themselves against these vicious assassins, but Charlotte sees one spot where one of the assassins shoots a poison dart at Griffith. She leaps in front and takes the hit. It is here when another assassin attempts to skirmish towards Guts and is cut in half, leaving the Bakiraka to rethink their strategy. They know at this point these mercenaries are no joke in their fighting skill, and know that the fighting may become too intense to keep the princess alive. They grant the princess with her handmaid a safe passage and the antidote. For her to die would mean death to all Bakiraka on the king's orders. It is here where the parley ends and the attack continues. This is one of the most incredible fights and shows off the Band of the Hawk's superior fighting skills. We have seen our heroes fight being outnumbered and coming out barely alive in some cases, which makes this fight completely unique. Here, the Band of the Hawk fights quality rather than quantity. With one of the assassins dead and Pippin hindered, carrying Griffith, the fight still seems to be in the advantage of the assassins. Number 2. Wild and the Black Dog Knights. Continuing in the pursuit of Griffith, the king orders his most terrifying force, the Black Dog Knights, to chase down Griffith and the Band of the Hawk. These men were led by an apostle named Wild. Now, there have been debates on how his name is actually pronounced, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to call him Wild. 5 years prior, the king had wanted to start up a force of prisoners to be led by a prisoner and fight in the king's name. Wild was interested in this idea. Even though he could have easily overtaken the kingdom, he was interested. To gain leadership, another larger prisoner challenged him for the role of leader. The king granted the winner of their duel to leadership. Obviously, Wild, being an apostle, led to him throwing the poor mortal to his death on top of a tower with a spike sticking through him. Fear overcame all, and Wild rose to power on his own terms. Now, I would include this whole 4 chapters of the Black Dog Knights, as we see innocent townsfolk, supporters of Griffith, help out the Band of the Hawk as they make their escape. Though once Wild arrives, gaining on the band's trail, perhaps best to tone down and leave a subtle implication as to what happens next to the family. That helped the Hawks. Or not, depends on how dark they want the next reboot to take it. Anywho, as the Black Dog Knights catch up to the Hawks, we see Pippin and Guts, the power duo, hold off the first wave. It is here that Wild decides to toy with Guts, throwing one of the corpses of the townsfolk that helped him earlier right at him. Wild decides to have a little fun with Guts. Pippin ends up saving Guts from another close encounter with the Apostle, as Casca up ahead springs a trap to blow the bridge behind them. The two make way for the bridge as Wild chases with his men. He sees the trap, and instead of avoiding it, it merely excites him. Trap after trap, the Hawks whittle down the Black Dog Knights' forces. It is at the end of the path that an ambush was waiting for them. Here we see the 2 most ferocious bands of men engaging in an all-attack. Guts immediately challenges the Apostle Wild in a duel. And from what we know about Guts, he loves challenges. and knows only he could withstand any sort of attack against the immense speed and power of the monstrous demon. What makes this key is seeing Guts finally overcoming the odds to defeating his first apostle. He now understands what it takes to defeat an apostle, and that it is possible after all. Through cunning planning and brute force, he is able to overcome the obstacles set before him that no other man has done before. Number 3. Guts and Casca's breakthrough. After Guts comes back to the Band of the Hawk, after being gone for a year, he learns of what happened to the Band of the Hawk and Griffith after his departure. He sees Casca in a vulnerable state as she is taken over as acting general. He saves the remaining Band of the Hawk members from an attack of mercenaries. Afterwards, Casca immediately challenges Guts in a duel while venting her frustrations of his departure, how it devastated Griffith and the Band of the Hawk. Casca understands that Guts, being fresh to the scene, has what it takes to continue where she wanted to leave from, him being prior commander of the Hawk Raiders. At a waterfall where they dueled, Casca voices her surrender of the Hawks to Guts, and that she has grown too tired, and jumps off the ledge to end herself. Guts is able to catch her, and Guts starts to grow upset at his fellow commander. Here's where Casca leans on Guts, and he begins to show her compassion, gives her a kiss on her forehead, which leads to Casca and Guts becoming more intimate. It is here the armor comes off and the two become way more intimate. Now this is where it cuts off, and in the original anime, it ended with an emotional take of the two comrades. The new OVA left it kind of raw, that had no emotion, or revealed either Casca's insecurities nor Guts' breakdown. Casca's embarrassed of her scars, and Guts comforts her by saying scars don't lie, as Casca sees Guts filled with his own battle scars. During the course of their intimacy, Guts is given a flashback of being sexually assaulted as a child by Donovan. His caretaker Gambino had sold him for the night to Donovan, and Guts for the first time has spoken about it. He breaks down and confides in Casca as he ends his rant with telling her that he killed his dad. He has never spoken of his early childhood to anyone, and this shows Guts' humanity and his deeper connection with Casca. We see Casca return the compassion as she begins to comfort him to let him know that he isn't alone. Both had their flaws and were broken, but had more of a connection than either realized. And that concludes my first Berserk video. Hopefully you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm going to try and do this casually, nothing on the side, so I won't be asking for any Patreon stuff. So yeah, don't worry about that. We'll be making some more content. I'm hoping to push out a Godzilla video sometime next week, but we'll see how that goes. This is Commander Guts signing off, and I'll catch you guys next time.